So it's called Jiu Jiao, a top-level agent of, whose plane crashed during a mission. Then she transmigrated into this body. Before she could think much, two ruffians approached her, wanting to take advantage of her. Fool, get up for me. One said, grabbing Jiu Jiao's collar. Jiu Jiao punched him until he vomited blood. The other ruffian couldn't believe it. You fool, have you taken the wrong medicine? How dare you hit me? He tried to attack Jiu Jiao. Within seconds, he fell flat on his face. Jiu Jiao, momentarily distracted, was hit by a sneak attack from the other ruffian. Blood instantly flowed down. Jiu Jiao couldn't care less. She beat him until he couldn't get up. The original owner's memories kept flooding in. The original owner's life was so miserable, always being bullied, called ugly, called a fool. Jiu Jiao thought she must live well for her and take revenge on those who bullied her. But the original owner's physique was too weak. She fainted after being hit with a stick. She had to go home and treat herself. Jiu Jiao finally arrived home. This is too shabby, is it really habitable? Just as she opened the gate, she saw someone in the yard. Could it be a thief? Without a second thought, she raised her fists. The man turned around. This young man is so handsome. Then she remembered, it was Xiao Liulang, the original owner's husband. The man asked with a blank expression, what are you doing? Jiu Jiao stammered, nothing, nothing. Always fooling around outside. Who knows what you're doing all day? After saying that, he walked out the door. Jiu Jiao shook her head. He's handsome, but his legs are crippled and his personality is bad. Then, Jiu Jiao opened the door. Her eyes suddenly lit up. What treasure did she see? Jiu Jiao chased out and asked, what is this? The answer she got was golden saw medicine. Jiu Jiao thought, he still has some conscience. Soon, a voice called, Jiao Didi, Xiao Dage. Jiu Jiao cautiously opened the door and looked. Isn't that Zuling Xiang, the widow in the village? What is she doing here? Zuling Xiang grabbed Xiao Liulang's hand and said, I brought you some food. Xiao Liulang strongly resisted and quickly dodged. Zuling Xiang felt uncomfortable. Xiao Liulang came back with Jiu Jiao. If I hadn't been so scared back then, how could it have been that fool Jiu Jiao? I regret it so much. She also said a lot of bad things about Jiu Jiao, but Xiao Liulang didn't respond. She became more and more jealous. We grew up together. She tried to lean on Xiao Liulang. Jiu Jiao couldn't stand it anymore. She opened the door. Yo, isn't this Ling Xiang Saozi? What did you just say? What's going on with you two? Zuling Xiang was startled by Jiu Jiao's sudden appearance. Fool, why are you at home? This is my house. Is it strange that I'm here? Why are you here? Zuling Xiang felt guilty. I'm here to see Xiao Dage. Xiao Dage sounds so intimate. Are you and my husband very close? Zuling Xiang was speechless under this pressure and turned to leave. Wanting to leave wasn't that easy. Jiu Jiao blocked her way. Zuling Xiang raised her hand and pushed Jiu Jiao. Jiu Jiao turned and dodged. With a hook of her shoulder, Zuling Xiang fell flat on her face. Zuling Xiang said pitifully, Xiao Dage, she's bullying me. Are you stupid? They are husband and wife. Xiao Liulang said, it's getting late. If there's nothing else, please leave. I told you to go back, didn't you hear? Zuling Xiang fled in embarrassment. Xiao Liulang just turned around when he was called. He turned and asked, what? Jiu Jiao smiled and said, thanks. Xiao Liulang suddenly blushed, reacting slowly. Jiu Jiao said, you're welcome. Jiu Jiao touched her chin, looking thoughtful. What is he thinking? Jiu Jiao hadn't eaten all day. She rummaged through the cabinets and only found 2 eggs, cornmeal and a few scallions. What a headache. This family is really too poor. Forget it, let's make egg pancakes. The egg pancakes were quickly done. At this time, Xiao Liulang just came back. Jiu Jiao asked him if he wanted to eat together. He didn't answer with a blank expression. Remembering the original owner, and Xiao Liulang both preferred to eat separately. Even if the original owner cooked, she wouldn't cook for him. So Xiao Liulang was a little unaccustomed to Jiu Jiao suddenly asking him to eat together. You used all the eggs. Come on, there were only 2 eggs. Jiu Jiao ignored him and continued to ask, how did you support the family before? I copy books and earn a little money. Jiu Jiao was eating happily when he added, this is our food for the whole day. Jiu Jiao was speechless, but also started to worry. No, I have to think of a way. She put down her chopsticks, and went to the woodshed. Xiao Liulang muttered, what is this woman doing now? Not long after, Jiu Jiao found a small backpack, and carried it towards the back mountain. This time, a voice came. What are you doing? I'm going to find something to eat, but it might be dangerous. If I don't come back, remember to burn my clothes. After Jiu Jiao left, Xiao Liulang added a piece of egg pancake to his bowl. Everyone, come and see, is this expression delicious or not? There are so many wild animals in these mountains. In a short while, her backpack was full. Jiu Jiao was just about to go home, when she saw an old man lying on the ground. There were wild chickens beside him. Jiu Jiao's eyes lit up. The chicken can be sold for money or eaten. Jiu Jiao gave him an antipyretic injection, and fixed his arm. She carried the man to the shade. Now I can rest assured. She happily went home with the chicken, thinking, it's good to take advantage of being Xiao Liulang's wife. Maybe his handsome face will show some smiles. A young hooligan said angrily, who is so annoying. Get lost. He turned around and saw Jiu Jiao, asking in disbelief, what are you doing? Jiu Jiao then realized it was Jiu Shaoshan, the original owner's younger brother. It doesn't matter who he is. Bullying my husband is not allowed. Then she knocked down the other two. Jiu Shaoshan looked at her with admiration. Gee, how are you so powerful? That's not important. Why are you bullying your brother-in-law? Jiu Shaoshan lowered his voice and said, didn't you ask me to drive this cripple away so you could be with Xiao Qin? Xiao Liulang, who was beside them, heard everything and looked gloomy. Jiu Jiao reached out to help him, but he refused. Jiu Jiao thought, it was the original owner, not me. But I can't explain it clearly. Xiao Liulang said he didn't need help, but his body said otherwise. In the end, Jiu Jiao carried him home. As soon as they entered the courtyard, they saw a person, shouting loudly, what are you doing at my sister's door? Xiao Liulang explained, that's my classmate, Feng Ming. Seeing Xiao Liulang's weak appearance, Feng Ming cursed, evil woman, what did you do to Liulang again? He cursed with all kinds of harsh words, but Jiu Jiao didn't bother to pay attention to him. Jiu Shaoshan and Feng Ming were arguing fiercely. Jiu Shaoshan wanted to tear his book. Feng Ming said, this book is for Xiao Liulang. Liulang wants to pawn it to buy golden saw medicine for that evil woman. Feng Ming continued, last time, it was because you were messing around, that Liulang missed the exam. Liulang treats you so well, yet you treat him like this. Your conscience has been eaten by a dog. Jiu Jiao remained silent, her face full of heartache. Indeed, the original owner treated Xiao Liulang badly. Feng Ming gave the book to Liulang. He looked reluctant when he left. He truly loved Liulang. Actually, Liulang was very good to the original owner. Jiu Jiao decided to treat Xiao Liulang well in the future. The exam is in a few days. How can she help her husband get a good grade? Today, Feng Ming came to find Xiao Liulang early. He said, we have to go to the Yiguan early. Last time, it was because of that incident. Today we can't let him succeed. A voice came from behind. Are you going to the Zhengshang? I'll go too. Jiu Jiao had a dream last night. She dreamt that her husband was injured at the Yiguan, so she had to follow them. Feng Ming was unwilling and complained, that evil woman came again. Soon they arrived at the Yiguan. The entrance was crowded. Jiu Jiao thought, I have to think of a way to separate them. She saw a child eating sweet-scented osmanthus cake, and said, I want to eat sweet-scented osmanthus cake. Xiao Liulang ignored her. Jiu Jiao continued, if you don't buy it for me, I won't let you in. I'll also tear your book. Feng Ming started cursing again. You evil woman, only Dr. Zhong from Jingcheng can cure Liulang's leg. It's almost our turn. Aren't you doing this on purpose? Jiu Jiao insisted, I just want to eat sweet-scented osmanthus cake. Xiao Liulang sighed and decided to buy it for her. Jiu Jiao was also surprised. She didn't think he would agree. Feng Ming followed Xiao Liulang, muttering, are you really going? Dr. Zhong only sees a limited number of patients. After they left, screams suddenly came from the Yiguan. A crazy man is hurting people. Help! People were lying on the ground. The shopkeeper didn't know what to do. Jiu Jiao reacted quickly, took out her medical kit, and said to the shopkeeper, quickly prepare hot water and clean cloth. Seeing the shopkeeper's hesitation, Jiu Jiao continued, if you want to save people, listen to me. After saying that, Jiu Jiao started working. The shopkeeper was amazed by her skills, and immediately asked someone to prepare things. Jiu Jiao's movements were swift and decisive. The shopkeeper couldn't help but sigh. I've never seen such techniques and methods. After they were basically out of danger, shopkeeper Wang wanted to ask, Miss, who are you exactly? Before he could finish, a voice came. Shopkeeper Wang, come quickly. The officials are here to ask questions. As soon as the voice faded, they saw injured people all over the floor, bandaged. They couldn't believe it. Shopkeeper Wang, did you do this? The shopkeeper immediately denied it. It was this young lady here. He turned around, but the person was gone. Feng Ming had been complaining all the way back to the Yiguan. He looked at the time and was furious. Then he heard someone say, there was trouble at the Yiguan. Several people were injured. Another person said, I was lucky. I was the last one to enter, but I fell when I ran out. Luckily, someone stitched me up. Feng Ming's face changed drastically after hearing this. If we hadn't left, at this moment, Xiao Liulang was deep in thought. She insisted on coming. She said she wanted sweet-scented osmanthus cake, and then the incident happened. Is this a coincidence, or... Suddenly, Jiu Jiao appeared out of nowhere, looking at the sweet-scented osmanthus cake and saying, it looks good. Feng Ming yelled again, when did you come back? Where did you go? Jiu Jiao said, I took the herbs to the pharmacy to exchange them. Xiao Liulang handed the sweet-scented osmanthus cake to Jiu Jiao. I didn't have time to eat this morning. Here you go. It's not good when it's cold. Jiu Jiao started eating. It really is delicious sweet-scented osmanthus cake. Feng Ming, the angry young man, yelled again, it's all your fault. If it wasn't for you wanting to eat sweet-scented osmanthus cake, how could we have missed the incident? Jiu Jiao wasn't angry. Is that so? That's really a pity. This made Feng Ming even angrier. He suddenly remembered that he had saved Liu Lang last time, and asked Liu Lang to repay him. If he knew that because of buying her sweet-scented osmanthus cake, he escaped a disaster, wouldn't he be overjoyed? I can't let him know. At this moment, Jiu Jiao also had lingering fears. Luckily, I had that dream. You'll have to pay more attention to my dreams in the future. Suddenly, Feng Ming shouted excitedly, look, that's the dean's carriage. Jiu Jiao asked, what dean? The dean of Qianxiang Academy. The academy Xiaozhong will be taking the exam for in 3 days. Feng Ming was too excited to introduce him further. Jiu Jiao listened without interest, focusing on eating the sweet-scented osmanthus cake. She didn't know what he was thinking. In the carriage, the old man with white hair holding a book was the dean. I feel like I've seen him somewhere before. Today was Xiao Liulang's exam. Jiu Jiao got up early to make breakfast for him. Unexpectedly, as soon as she finished cooking, her husband got up. Jiu Jiao said, I've already arranged the carriage. I've talked to Uncle Luo. He will take you directly to the academy. Xiao Liulang thanked her, and they didn't talk anymore. After finishing their meal, Xiao Liulang went to the village entrance to take the carriage. The villagers smiled and greeted him. Xiao Liulang looked aloof, but wasn't arrogant. The villagers liked him. Xiao Liulang was about to get on the carriage when someone ran past him, bumping into him and shouting, move aside. Das Hun is in a hurry. Feng Ming quickly spoke up for Liulang. Shunzi's mother, Liulang, was here first. Uncle Luo, he paid first, right? Uncle Luo quickly said, Liulang is going to take the exam. Jiu Jiao said domineeringly, my Shunzi is also taking the exam. What's wrong with him going now? Our old man values Das Hun the most. If you have the ability, go talk to him. Uncle Luo hesitated. Old man Jiu was strict and an official, not someone to be trifled with. But last night, Jiu Jiao specifically instructed him to take Liulang to the academy, and even gave him 2 extra coins. What should he do? Jiu Das Hun sneered, you haven't gone to the private school for half a year. Even if you go to Qianxiang Academy, you won't pass the exam anyway. Hurry back and take care of that fool Jiu Jiao. A fool and a cripple, a match made in heaven. Xiao Liulang still looked aloof, but his heart was uneasy. Jiu Das Hun quickly climbed into the carriage, thinking, a lowly scholar still wants to block my way. Before he could sit down, he was pulled out of the carriage. Jiu Jiao said imposingly, I booked this carriage last night. If you want to take it, please refund everyone's money. Seeing Jiu Jiao like this, everyone was stunned. Wasn't she at odds with Xiao Liulang? Xiao Liulang was also in disbelief. Jushi started cursing, Jiu Jiao, you're unreasonable. She quickly helped Liulang into the carriage. Finally, Uncle Luo suggested that Jushi take the villagers' produce so there would be space. Jiu Jiao was worried and decided to follow, but there was no space, so she had to walk. The villagers in the carriage were all laughing at her. What is this fool doing? Xiao Liulang looked at Jiyu Jiao's panting figure, feeling a mix of emotions. She worked so hard. He secretly made up his mind to do his best in today's exam. During the exam, Xiao Liulang kept thinking about Jiyu Jiao. After the exam, Feng Ming was already waiting for Liulang outside. He chatted non-stop. The exam questions this time were difficult. If I had taken the exam with you last time. He didn't finish and started complaining about Jiyu Jiao again. Xiao Liulang didn't answer, looking around. Jiyu Jiao should have gone back, right? Suddenly, a familiar figure appeared. She was carrying a small backpack, seemingly lost in thought. Xiao Liulang looked at her. She really is different. Jiyu Jiao also noticed his gaze. She walked towards Xiao Liulang. Are you done? Xiao Liulang asked, have you been waiting long? Jiyu Jiao smiled. Not really. Liulang looked puzzled. Didn't you have urgent business? Why didn't you go home? Jiyu Jiao touched her head and said, I just happened to be nearby. Feng Ming said unhappily, what business could you have? Don't mind her. When we have time, I'll accompany you to see Dr. Zhong. The incident a while ago, all the injured people were cured. It must be Dr. Zhong. We don't have such a miracle worker here. Feng Ming didn't know that the miracle worker he spoke of was right in front of him. Jiyu Jiao quickly asked, when are you going? Feng Ming rolled his eyes. Why should I tell you? Jiyu Jiao didn't bother with him, and looked at her husband. Were you looking at me just now? Liulang blushed and didn't dare look at Jiyu Jiao. No, Jiyu Jiao continued to ask, really not. Liulang avoided Jiyu Jiao's gaze. I have no reason to lie to you. They chatted and laughed along the way. Zhu Lingxiang saw all of this and thought, when did their relationship become so good? After dinner, Liulang was copying books. Jiyu Jiao brought in a brazier. Liulang asked, why are you using a brazier? Jiyu Jiao shook her head. I won't be cold if I sleep. As soon as she finished speaking, she sneezed. She said embarrassedly, can I sleep in your room before I go to bed? Liulang nodded. Jiyu Jiao suddenly asked, did the Jiyu family take a lot of the money you earned from copying books? Liulang, while copying books, said, you go to the Jiyu family for meals. You have to contribute. Jiyu Jiao leaned closer and whispered, you don't have to give money to the Jiyu family anymore. I'll eat at home from now on. Liulang was stunned at first. When he reacted, he replied, okay. Perhaps he didn't even notice that he was overjoyed at this moment. This man suddenly collapsed. Cough, cough, cough. The people around him all avoided him, fearing it was a plague. The second-in-command of Hui Chun Tang came forward to check, and found that it was Qi Zhong. Then he stopped panicking. At that critical moment, a delicate figure squeezed through the crowd. Wu Jiao quickly squatted down. With a swift rip, she tore open the man's clothes. She took out a 2-meter-long needle, and stabbed it into his chest. This shocked everyone. They thought she was going to kill him. In the next second, Wu Jiao twisted the needle and then pulled it out. A gust of air escaped, and the man's chest instantly deflated. The man's breathing returned. Everyone around saw this. This girl was truly amazing. Shopkeeper Wang and the second-in-command were overjoyed. If we had such a doctor, no one would have died that day, and that incident wouldn't have happened. That incident a few days ago, at the clothing exchange, paralyzed all business. Everyone in the market square witnessed the whole thing, but the second-in-command didn't believe it. How could a young girl have such high medical skills? So today, he secretly followed Bu Jiao, and saw her exchange expensive medicinal herbs for some unknown ones. He felt it was even more impossible that she was that skilled. He even said that shopkeeper Wang was mistaken. Now, having witnessed the process of Bu Jiao saving someone, he finally believed. The second-in-command joyfully approached Bu Jiao, and invited her to sit at the medical hall. Bu Jiao didn't respond to his series of questions. The second-in-command proudly said, in Qingchuan town, the only medical hall worthy of the name is our Hui Chun Tang. He thought Bu Jiao would immediately agree. Such a good opportunity. Unexpectedly, Bu Jiao didn't, just stroking her chin, seemingly in thought. The second-in-command became anxious. Coming to us, you definitely won't be mistreated. Bu Jiao still didn't answer, thinking he definitely didn't believe her. Suddenly, Bu Jiao had an idea. We can cooperate, but let's be clear, I will only treat patients at your clinic once a month. Shopkeeper Wang and the second-in-command were taken aback. Only once. Bu Jiao said seriously, yes, I am very busy. The second-in-command's mouth twitched. Is she busy selling vegetables? He thought, agreeing to once, first, then slowly bargain later after they got to know each other. Wu Jiao spoke again. I have another condition. At this time, a handsome man was predicting misfortune. A woman on the ground wept in despair. Just then, a clear voice rang out, ah. Move aside. The other fortune tellers looked back, thinking another fool had come. One of them walked towards Wu Jiao. Say that again. I didn't hear clearly. Wu Jiao stared at them coldly. I said, move aside. The fortune teller stretched out his hand, still boasting a moment ago. The next second he was thrown to the ground and robbed by Wu Jiao. She took down 2 of them in an instant. Then another one. The fortune tellers fled in panic. Zuningshiang said with lingering fear, how did you? Choked with emotion, he couldn't speak. Wu Jiao looked at his disheveled appearance, and took out a light blue robe from her medical kit. Zuningshiang asked hesitantly, aren't you cold? Wu Jiao replied, if you don't wear it, I will. Zuningshiang quickly put on the robe and cautiously asked, are you still foolish? Wu Jiao ignored him and turned to leave. Zuningshiang muttered to himself, she must still be foolish. Otherwise, after how I treated her before, why would she save me? Xiao Liulang returned home from school and saw Zuningshiang and Wu Jiao upon entering. Xiao Liulang thought, aren't they on bad terms? Zuningshiang saw Xiao Liulang, you're back. She's experiencing menstrual cramps, quite severe. Is there any brown sugar at home? Make her a bowl. Xiao Liulang was caught off guard, suddenly froze, you'll go find Auntie Lingju. He finished and turned to leave. Zuningshiang chased him out, hurry up. Xiao Liulang's body stiffened, awkwardly walking outside. After much internal struggle, Xiao Liulang knocked on Granny Zhong's door. Granny Zhong asked with a smile, is that Liulang? What's the matter? Xiao Liulang pretended to be calm and said, I'm here to borrow some brown sugar. Granny Zhong laughed. I didn't expect Liulang to already know how to care for women. Jiyu girl is lucky. Xiao Liulang took the brown sugar and walked home. Suddenly, Granny Zhong's voice came from behind. A woman having period cramps is a good thing. It means she can soon give birth to you a baby. Xiao Liulang almost tripped. He didn't know how he got home. Wu Jiao lay weakly in bed. Liulang brought the brown sugar water to Wu Jiao. Drink this first. Call me if you need more. Wu Jiao drank all the brown sugar water and lay down, softly saying, much better. Liulang blushed and left the room. This little girl was too captivating. That day, 2 burly men came to the village and saw Xiao Shun. Are you from this village? Xiao Shun weakly replied, yes. Is there something wrong? The strong man took out a broken fan. Have you seen this fan? Xiao Shun thought, isn't this the fan I broke? What trouble did he cause? Xiao Shun asked nervously. It was me, Xiao Shun confessed. The strong man continued, so it was you who went to the back mountain, stepped on our master's face, messed with our master, and pricked his butt, wasn't it? Xiao Shun said feebly, thinking, my sister, why did you run off and prick someone's butt? Xiao Shun closed his eyes in resignation, thinking he would definitely be taken away this time. Unexpectedly, the 2 strong men knelt down and said, young master. We finally found you. Xiao Shun was stunned. He quickly ran home and shouted, sister. Wu Jiao quickly shushed him, quiet, your brother-in-law is studying. Xiao Shun recounted what had just happened to Wu Jiao. Wu Jiao realized he was from Qianxiang Academy. She thought for a moment and suddenly realized something. She walked towards the door. Xiao Shun looked at the 2, a little worried. Unexpectedly, the next time he looked, the 2 strong men were all smiles. He didn't know what they talked about. Soon, they left, saying, don't worry, we will definitely achieve it. Xiao Shun asked curiously, what did you talk about? Wu Jiao said, tell your mother to prepare your school bag. Xiao Shun was confused. He didn't understand what happened until he got home. Xiao Shun returned home. The administrator from Qianxiang Academy came to the door. He gave him the admission letter. Tuition and fees were fully covered. The family was stunned. Xiao Shun hadn't even taken the exam. The administrator said, this is a special admission. Our headmaster personally went to see him. Xiao Shun actually also wanted to study. This way, he could let his sister live a good life, and he could even surpass his brother-in-law. Just thinking about it made him excited, but now his family wouldn't let him go to school. They even gave the spot to Jiyu Erzhan. They were even celebrating. Thinking about it made him angry. Without my sister, how could they have this opportunity? Meanwhile, the headmaster of Qianxiang Academy, holding a test paper, excitedly found the teacher. Look at this examinee named Xiao Liulang, he's truly extraordinary. The old teacher also praised Liulang after seeing the test paper. The headmaster asked puzzled, but why did he leave the other two questions blank? Such a pity. The old teacher continued, this examinee has great strength. Headmaster, you will definitely regret what you said today. You missed the chance to meet a person with great potential. The next day, Jiu Erzhan went to Qianxiang Academy, looking like a country bumpkin. He thought to actually be in the same class as the top student. At this moment, the teacher walked in and started roll call. Jiu Erzhan was a little nervous. The teacher called out, Jiu Xiaoshan. Jiu Erzhan shouted, present. Everyone said, you're not Jiu Xiaoshan, are you? Jiu Erzhan panicked. Jiu Xiaoshan is sick and asked me to come. The teacher said sternly, you're not a student of this academy. Please leave now. Jiu Erzhan could only leave dejectedly. Lu Jiao was really clever. She had thought of everything. Lu Jiao was bored and wanted to make some clothes for her family when she suddenly heard a thud. She went out to take a look and saw an old lady collapsed at the door. Lu Jiao's expression changed drastically. Isn't this? Just then, Xiaoshan happily greeted her, sister, I'm back. Also returning were Liu Lang and Feng Ming. Lu Jia shouted urgently, don't come over. Xiaoshan asked in confusion, why so serious? Liu Lang also noticed the person on the ground. Without hesitation, he walked to Bu Jiao's side and squatted down. Bu Jia said anxiously, didn't I tell you not to come over? Feng Ming asked anxiously, Liu Lang, what is this? Liu Lang blurted out, Ma Feng. Feng Ming immediately ran 10 meters away. Liu Lang asked worriedly, did you touch her? Bu Jia nodded, just a little. Liu Lang was about to say something when someone suddenly pulled him away. Feng Ming said anxiously, he touched that person. We need to quickly send him to Ma Feng Mountain, otherwise your whole village will be infected. Liu Lang didn't speak. Feng Ming became even more anxious. What are you still hesitating about? Haven't you always wanted to get rid of that curse? This is a good opportunity. Liu Lang said calmly, no one will be sent to Ma Feng Mountain. After saying that, he carried the person into the house. Xiaoshan also went to help. Feng Ming was speechless. You've changed again. Bu Jiao was still thinking about how to treat her. Liu Lang handed her a prescription. This is a prescription. My older brother was also infected with Ma Feng. A wandering doctor gave him this ancestral prescription. I saw him get better after taking it, but he was later sent to Ma Feng Mountain and died not long after. Everyone quickly split up and soon gathered the ingredients. The old lady's symptoms were relatively mild. Lu Jia used the medicine in her medical kit to treat her. After taking the Chinese medicine, the old lady's condition was under control and she recovered. This matter was considered resolved without bloodshed. However, the following dream terrified Bu Jiao. Bu Jiao dreamt that Xiaoshan and Xiao Liulang had contracted the disease. They were both seriously injured. Bu Jiao woke up from her dream in shock. She had to prevent this from happening. Today was Xiaoshan's first day of school. His classmates didn't want to share a desk with him, saying he was foolish. Suddenly, a voice said, I'll switch with him. Liu Lang walked to Xiaoshan's side. Here's a school bag. Your sister made it for you. She hopes you'll study hard and not disappoint her. Xiaoshan instantly became Liu Lang's little follower. Brother-in-law, are you tired? Do you want me to help you? Do you want me to carry your books? You're the only one besides me who's worthy of my sister. Liu Lang was almost annoyed to death by Xiaoshan. This kid was too clingy. The two arrived at the classroom door. This is too shabby, isn't it? Just as he was about to open the door, a voice called out, Xiao Liulang, your family is here, saying they have something to discuss with you. Liu Lang and Xiaoshan rushed to the school gate. Xiaoshan happily greeted Bu Jiao, sister, over here, over here. Liu Lang looked at Bu Jiao without saying a word, his face blushing. He thought, she looks really good today. Xiaoshan asked, sister, is there something you need? Bu Jiao smiled, it's your first day of school. I was worried, so I came to take you out to eat. Bu Jiao ordered noodles. Xiaoshan ate like a hungry tiger. Liu Lang barely ate. Bu Jiao asked with concern, why aren't you eating? Liu Lang blurted out, it's not as good as yours. Liu Lang was startled by his own words. Why did I say that? Xiaoshan beside him felt a surge of dog food. Strange, why am I suddenly full? Bu Jiao said with a smile, okay, I'll cook for you tonight. Liu Lang nodded. Just as they were about to finish eating, there was a loud rumble. Soon, they heard classmates saying, come help. Someone's trapped in the dormitory. Liu Lang asked anxiously, which dormitory? The classmate replied, it's your dormitory. Liu Lang's face was filled with doubt. This was the second time. Both times, he had avoided disaster because of her. Was this really a coincidence? How did she do it? Wu Jiao's medical skills were exceptional, so she decided to treat Xiao Liu Lang's leg, but it had to be done secretly, because no one could discover her little medicine kit. Hui Chun Tang gave Liu Lang a sedative. Wu Jiao examined him and discovered that the bones in his ankle were shattered. It would be very painful to walk. He was truly a pitiful child. Shopkeeper Wang and the second-in-command waited anxiously outside. She's been in there for so long, why hasn't she come out? It seems Xiao Gong's condition is very serious. Actually, Bu Jiao wouldn't tell them that treating the illness only took minutes. Negotiating the price took hours. Bu Jiao said calmly, it's quite complicated. But treatable. I need to perform surgery on him. The second-in-command looked incredulous, are you sure? That kind of surgery is only used on the battlefield. The last doctor in our Hui Chun Tang, who performed surgery, was already years old. Bu Jiao smiled, I need to prepare some medicinal herbs. I'll tell you when the time is set. Soon, Xiao Liu Lang woke up and saw the medicine. He couldn't believe the amount of these precious medicinal herbs. Bu Jiao had already given instructions. Actually, she was bored. The rest would be deducted from her salary. They didn't return to the village immediately. Since they had finally come to town, they needed to buy some things. Liu Lang bought brown sugar, remembering he hadn't returned the brown sugar he borrowed last time. His face flushed involuntarily. Soon, they returned fully loaded. They carried the things onto the ox cart. Luo Ershu asked, is this for New Year's? It's about time to prepare, New Year is coming soon. Bu Jiao was startled after hearing this, then recalled her past experiences. She had been alone since childhood, unloved by her mother and abandoned by her father. She couldn't help but feel sad. Liu Lang noticed something was wrong with her, and held Bu Jiao's hand as they walked home. Bu Jiao instantly smiled, thinking that life here wasn't so bad after all. At least she had Xiao Liu Lang and her younger brother, and now Auntie Gooper. She could have a lively new year. At this moment, they didn't know that their home was already in chaos. Uncle Jiyu and Bu Jiao's grandmother started a fight. He not only refused to pay, but also shouted angrily, I don't care. Liu Lang must give me the 2 taels of silver tonight. Auntie Gooper got angry after hearing this and threw melon seeds at his face. Did he eat your rice or drink your porridge? Not even a copper coin, let alone 2 taels of silver. Don't say my Jiao Jiao ate a lot. How much did she eat? How much have you asked Liu Lang for? My Jiao Jiao was supposed to grow up in the Jiyu family. You and your wife kicked them both out. The villagers started discussing, so that's how it was. How outrageous. Grandmother felt guilty, that was just dividing the family property. Auntie Gooper thought, that's exactly what I wanted to hear. You admit it was dividing the family property. Since it was divided, why are you still asking Liu Lang to pay for your family's expenses? Take it yourself. The villagers burst into laughter. Grandmother was furious. You old hag. Do you know who I am? Im Li Zeng's wife, Auntie Gooper retorted sarcastically, and Im the emperor's mother. Grandmother, having never been so insulted, picked up a 20-jin stone and threw it at Auntie Gooper. I'm going to kick you out of this village today. At that critical moment, a meter-long ripple flew over. Who knew? But Bu Jiao and Liu Lang returned. Grandmother started cursing as soon as she saw Bu Jiao. I should have left you to die. Liu Lang, look at the good deeds your Auntie Gooper and Jiao Nyang have done. Your grandmother is so old, what if something goes wrong? Liu Lang said coldly, since you're so old, don't come out and cause trouble. If you cause trouble again, we will report it to the officials. I will personally go to Yangzhou to study law. Grandmother and aunt were so scared they broke out in a cold sweat, and left dejectedly. After everyone left, it was Bu Jiao's turn to settle the score with Auntie Gooper. Xiao Shun, seeing the situation wasn't good, took off running, but he was still caught by Bu Jiao. Xiao Shun, where are you going? Come here. Xiao Shun had told Auntie Gooper about the situation at home. Now everyone was avoiding Auntie Gooper. Not only was she homeless, but officials were also looking for her. They could only let her continue staying with them. On the other side, Master Jiyu was furious. You divided the family property, and you still asked Liu Lang for money. Grandmother whispered, what can a girl like her achieve by studying? It's better to give the money to Das Hun. If Dashan becomes successful in the future, he can take care of them. Master Jiyu was enraged after hearing this nonsense. Don't ask her for money again. I can't afford to lose face like this. Meanwhile, Jiyu Dashan cursed Liu Lang times. That disabled, uneducated trash, what right does he have to become the headmaster's disciple? Liu Lang must have used some trick. Xiao Liu Lang, just you wait. I'll make you never walk again. Wu Jiao dreamt that Jiyu Dashan framed Liu Lang for stealing. Liu Lang was delayed in returning home because of the investigation. Puyu's carriage overturned on the way to the university. Such a handsome face was ruined. Jiyu Jiao was awakened by a nightmare. She absolutely wouldn't allow such a thing to happen. Since he insists on investigating, he'll take this opportunity to deal with him. Wu Jiao walked to Huichun Clinic and asked the second in charge to send someone to gather the 6 Langs at the clinic. Jiyu Jiao returned to the village and greeted her aunt, saying she would take them to sell goods. They quickly gathered their goods, and Jiyu Jiao took them to sell them. Jiyu Jiao led them to an alley, saying that the thief from her dream would appear here. As expected, someone came. Jiyu Jiao blocked his way and knocked his bag down, but he still ran away. Jiyu Jiao quickly chased after him. Silver scattered all over the ground, and the 2 aunts scrambled to pick it up. Meanwhile, Liu Lang was about to go up to the 2nd floor of the library, when Xiaosai from Huichun Clinic stopped him. Head manager Wang asked me to fetch young master, so I came to Huichun Clinic to get some medicine. Jiyu Dashan stealthily thought, why does Liu Lang want to go to the 2nd floor? I'll go up and have a look too. When Liu Lang returned to Qianxiang Academy, he heard everyone discussing the theft and said that Jiyu Dashan was the thief. Jiyu Dashan said discontentedly, why did you arrest me? I didn't steal anything. The officer coldly said, someone saw you go up to the 2nd floor. Only you were there during that time. If it wasn't you, then who was it? Liu Lang felt relieved. If it weren't for Hu Jin from Huichun Clinic, he would have gone to the 2nd floor too. The officers arrested 2 more people, the 2 aunts. They found the stolen silver on them. They said, we didn't steal it. We picked it up. Jiyu Jiao can testify. He knocked the bag down. Liu Lang suspected Jiyu Jiao. Could it be her again this time? The 2nd aunt still wouldn't give up. It's all Jiyu Jiao's fault. He insisted on chasing that thief, scattering the silver on the ground for us to pick up. It's all his fault. Someone in the crowd said, who would believe your lies? That Jiyu Jiao is known as a fool in our village. Their faces turned pale, and the 3 were taken to Xianyang. They were given lashes and fined another taels. They probably wouldn't cause trouble for Liu Lang for a while. Jiyu Jiao is no longer the fool she once was. Having avenged the original owner and Liu Lang, Jiyu Jiao felt great. She felt energetic doing everything and even hummed a song. Liu Lang looked at Jiyu Jiao puzzled. What's wrong with her? She's in such a good mood. Does she have some trick up her sleeve? It was snowing heavily. Jiyu Jiao specially came to pick Liu Lang up after school, and even brought his favorite osmanthus cake. She bought him his favorite sweet-scented osmanthus cake. She thoughtfully gave him her coat. Jiyu Jiao thought he was too shy and said with a smile, thank you. Liu Lang's heart beat faster, and he shyly turned his head. Such an innocent young boy. They ordered 2 bowls of rice wine tang yuan. Jiyu Jiao gave her poached egg to Liu Lang. Liu Lang thought she couldn't bear to eat it, and was so touched that he asked the boss for another egg. Jiyu Jiao felt bitter inside. In truth, she gave it to him because she didn't like poached eggs. After they finished eating, Jiyu Jiao suddenly pulled Liu Lang's sleeve. It's not safe in the snow. Let's find an inn to stay. Liu Lang wanted to say something, but seeing Jiyu Jiao's well-behaved appearance, he replied, okay. They asked for 2 rooms, but were told there was only 1 left. The owner was a godsend. Liu Lang hesitated. Jiyu Jiao didn't hesitate at all, but still pretended to be hesitant. Liu Lang looked at Jiyu Jiao's pitiful appearance and said, let's stay then. Jiyu Jiao's heart was pounding. They had been married for half a year, but hadn't slept together yet. Seeing only 1 bed, Liu Lang started to hesitate again. Jiyu Jiao quickly climbed into bed and patted it as if saying, husband, come on up. She thought, we're legally married, what's the problem? That night, Jiyu Jiao dreamt of her past life. Her mother was a monster and made her father take her away. Her father then left her with her grandmother. She kept shouting for someone to come, kept saying she was cold, very cold. Liu Lang gave her his quilt. Unexpectedly, Jiyu Jiao snuggled into his arms and murmured, it's so warm, I want to hug you. Liu Lang froze, his heart racing and his face blushing. They had never been so close. But seeing her sleeping so soundly, he didn't have the heart to wake her. The next day, back in the village, they heard people discussing how the snow suddenly fell so heavily yesterday, and many people returning to the village fell. Some even falling into the ditch and losing their lives. Liu Lang thought that if it weren't for Jiyu Jiao suggesting staying at the inn, they might have had an accident too. This was the third time. He was curious, but didn't ask. After all, they were only nominally married. Liu Lang was lost in thought when Jiyu Jiao came up behind him. Seeing the person, Liu Lang said, "Young Master Qin, why are you here?" Jiyu Jiao rejoiced. Wasn't this the rich young master, who had been pestering the original owner? Liu Lang's face darkened, thinking to herself, young Master Qin. How intimate. Jiyu Jiao was simply reaping what the original owner had sown. Young Master Qin was startled. Aren't you the one who kept pestering me? So you're Jiyu Nyang. Jiyu Jiao said helplessly, you didn't know who I was. She thought, the original owner pestered him for so long. Liu Lang's face had turned completely black. He seemed angry, glared at young Master Qin, and left without looking back. Jiyu Jiao thought, oh no, my husband seems angry. Young Master Qin asked hesitantly, did you happen to pick up a letter? He thought she seemed different from before, not looking foolish anymore. Jiyu Jiao took out a letter. Is this it? Young Master Qin's eyes lit up. You really found it. Thank you so much, Jiyu Jiao said thoughtfully, just a verbal thank you. No, something more substantial. Like, silver or something. She thought, if my husband is angry, he'll make a big request. With the silver in hand, she hurried back to coax her little husband. Jiyu Jiao entered the room and said, they are gone. Liu Lang glanced at Jiyu Jiao. What's with her? Why did she seem a bit smug? After all, he was just a teenager. Jiyu Jiao asked innocently, what's wrong? Liu Lang still ignored her. Jiyu Jiao placed the silver on the table. Why was I so blind at such a young age? Hair's so ugly, Jiyu Jiao explained. I didn't know it was his letter. I picked it up randomly. I returned it to him and got 100 taels. Liu Lang seemed to calm down a bit. Thinking that she had already extorted money from the other party, it seemed she had given up. Liu Lang understood, he shouldn't be angry, after all, they weren't really husband and wife. But he just couldn't control himself earlier. Jiyu Jiao continued to coax him, don't be angry anymore. I won't look at him again. Liu Lang replied softly, do as you please. Jiyu Jiao said loudly, he's not as good looking as you. Was he coaxed or not? Why the silence? Jiyu Jiao had a new idea. She wanted to buy a mountain. There were many good things in the mountains. Not only could she gather mountain goods and materials, but also raise livestock. All these translated into white, shimmering silver. Just thinking about it made her happy. She was about to become a rich woman. After inquiring, she learned that the mountain behind the village belonged to Ningan Temple. Jiyu Jiao put on all her jewelry. She arrived at the temple and encountered a beautiful lady. There were also 4 young men secretly watching the lady, who was scolded away by the lady's maid. The 4 young men quickly ran away. One of them accidentally bumped into Jiyu Jiao's leg and fell down. Jiyu Jiao was captivated by this little dumpling. She really wanted to pinch his cheeks. Before Jiyu Jiao could make a move, the little dumpling got up and ran away. Just then, a maid walked towards the lady with a bowl of soup. Suddenly, she slipped. The soup was about to spill on the lady. Jiyu Jiao, with quick reflexes, shielded the lady and kicked the soup away. But she was drenched. The lady quickly gave Jiyu Jiao her daughter's clothes to wear. She also said that her daughter was the same age as Jiyu Jiao and was born in this temple. Jiyu Jiao thought, what a coincidence, me too. The lady gave Jiyu Jiao some of her homemade snacks. Looking at her scarred hands, she felt heartache. Such a good girl. It's a good thing my daughter was born in a wealthy family and doesn't have to suffer like this. Otherwise, my heart would break. After the lady fell asleep, Jiyu Jiao went to see the abbot. The abbot kept staring at Jiyu Jiao, stunned. Jiyu Jiao thought, is my makeup scaring him? Jiyu Jiao called out to the abbot again. The abbot finally came back to his senses. Did you say you wanted to buy a mountain? Jiyu Jiao said firmly, yes. But unexpectedly, the abbot said, how old are you this year? Jiyu Jiao asked puzzled, can't I buy a mountain if I'm young? The abbot hurriedly said, no, no. He said that his junior brother, who was in charge of the temple's finances, would be back in a few days and asked Jiyu Jiao to come back then. After Jiyu Jiao left, the abbot recalled what happened years ago. He was drunk that day. He wanted to apply a handprint birthmark to the newborn baby girl, but accidentally applied it to her face. The next day, he rushed to the Hu mansion to apologize to the lady, but the baby girl in her arms was fair and clear, with no trace of a handprint birthmark. The abbot thought he had been dreaming due to his drunkenness. Seeing Jiu Jiao reminded him of this incident. But he clearly marked the Hu mansion's daughter. That girl said she was a villager from the foot of the mountain. Now the abbot was even more confused. What was going on? Jiu Jiao opened her medical kit. She gave Liu Lang local anesthesia. Then she began the surgery. Head manager Wang and the second in charge waited anxiously. 2 hours later, Jiu Jiao finally came out. They hurriedly asked, "How was the surgery?" Jiu Jiao nodded. The surgery was very successful. They finally breathed a sigh of relief, but his ankle injury has been there for too long. Even if the surgery was successful, he needs a long period of recuperation. Jiu Jiao suddenly felt heartache. Knowing he was in so much pain, she shouldn't have let him do so many chores. Head manager Wang instructed Liu Lang to take bed rest and focus on recovery. Hearing the word recovery, Liu Lang suddenly froze. He misheard it as Zhizhou. He thought, the identity of Zhizhou no longer belongs to me. Liu Lang's true identity was extraordinary. He was the young master of the Zhao dynasty, his birth mother being Princess Xianyi. He entered the Imperial Academy at the age of 4, read all the books in the library by 5, and was fluent in 6 languages. At the age of, he was appointed by the emperor as the Zhizhou of the Imperial Academy. A true genius. But fate was cruel. It was said that he died unexpectedly in a fire at the age of. But how did he end up among the common people and become Liu Lang? Liu Lang recalled the past, and his heart ached uncontrollably. Suddenly, a bang interrupted his thoughts. Feng Ming rushed in. He asked worriedly, "Liu Lang, are you still alive? Does it hurt?" Jiu Jiao rolled her eyes at Feng Ming, thinking, the anesthetic hasn't worn off yet, of course it hurts. Besides, my skills are excellent. Liu Lang tried to stand up, but his legs were weak. He fell forward. Feng Ming's face changed, but Jiu Jiao was quick to catch Liu Lang. She said softly, "I've got you." Liu Lang leaned on her, his face burning red. Such a cute Liu Lang. She wondered if his leg would fully recover. Liu Lang woke up to find himself surrounded by people. He instantly felt embarrassed and a bit ashamed. Liu Lang usually woke up early. Why was he the last one up today? It started 3 days ago, during the New Year celebrations. Kong Ming gave Liu Lang red paper for writing spring couplets and cutting window decorations. Jiu Jiao had never cut window decorations or pasted spring couplets before. In her past life, she never had family to celebrate with. She suddenly thought of Feng Ming spending New Year's Eve alone this year. Jiu Jiao went to the academy and knocked on Feng Ming's door. Before she could speak, Feng Ming ran outside, thinking something must have happened to Liu Lang. He rushed back home anxiously. He anxiously asked, "Liu Lang, are you all right?" He was greeted by a joyful atmosphere. Feng Ming felt embarrassed. It turned out nothing had happened to Liu Lang. This New Year was very festive. Everyone was happy, and Feng Ming was so touched that he cried. With Feng Ming there weren't enough rooms. Liu Lang had to share a room with Jiu Jiao. After a busy day, they could finally lie down and rest. Liu Lang closed his eyes. Jiu Jiao knew he wasn't asleep and asked softly, "Did you have a good New Year?" Without waiting for Liu Lang to answer, Jiu Jiao held his cold hand and said, "Next year will be even better." Liu Lang pretended to be asleep, because every New Year's Eve, he would dream of a boundless fire. But this year, he had a strange dream. Jiu Jiao said seriously, "Liu Lang, let's make this clear. We're only nominally married. You can't touch me." He turned his face away irritably. "Who wants to touch you?" Jiu Jiao brought a bowl of water. "I'll put this bowl of water here. If you dare to come over and knock it over in the middle of the night, you're admitting your feelings." Liu Lang said nonchalantly, "Fine. If I come over, I admit my feelings." The next day, Jiu Jiao woke up, looked at the undisturbed water, and flicked him on the forehead. "You're not even as good as an admission of feelings." Liu Lang woke up from his sleep. It was just a dream. That scared me. Liu Lang looked at Jiu Jiao. Why didn't he dream of the fire this time, and instead had such a romantic dream? It was because Feng Ming had stayed for 3 days. And Liu Lang hadn't had a good rest during those 3 days. Today was the day for his stitches to be removed. Everyone was looking forward to it and got up early. Xiao Shun asked curiously, doesn't Liu Lang usually get up early? What happened today? Gong Kei jokingly said, you'll understand when you get married. This was a blatant teasing scene. Jiyu Jiao thought that Jiyu Jiao must have done it on purpose. Today's patient was Jiyu Yang, the son of Marquis of Anding. The Marchioness was pregnant with twins. After giving birth to the first child, she had no strength left. Jiyu Yang was stuck in the womb and poisoned by the amniotic fluid. He was born weak and raised in a medicine jar. He had been in a coma for 10 days now. All the famous doctors in the capital had come, but they all left after examining him. Even the highly skilled imperial physician was helpless and fled. He was afraid that if he was slow, the young master's death would be attributed to him. Jiyu Jiao went in confidently. Finally, it's my turn. Seeing them fleeing in panic, the second in charge had a bad feeling. If the child died, he couldn't bear the responsibility. He quickly told Jiyu Jiao, there's something wrong at Huichun Clinic. Come back with me. The moment Jiyu Jiao turned around, she felt a sudden pain in her chest. She heard a maid screaming from inside, young master. Jiyu Jiao felt uneasy and panicked. She had always been healthy. This feeling came out of nowhere. But the person was more important. Jiyu Jiao quickly rushed into the room. Her expression changed drastically after checking his pulse. No pulse, no heartbeat, and no breathing. Jiyu Jiao knelt beside the young master and performed CPR. The second in charge was stunned by the scene. Jiyu Jiao shouted at him, guard the door. I'm saving him. Don't let anyone in, she said to the old doctor beside her, bring my medical kit. Light the oil lamps and candles. Jiyu Jiao quickly injected him with adrenaline. The old doctor beside her looked puzzled. What strange things is this girl injecting into the young master's meridians? Just then, the steward arrived with his men. Seeing the second in charge blocking the door, he shouted, what do you mean by blocking the door? The second in charge panicked. Our Huichun Clinic's doctor is saving him. If you don't want anything to happen to your young master, don't disturb her. The steward said seriously, are you sure you can save the young master? The second in charge broke out in a cold sweat. He thought, I'm not sure either. By this time, Jiyu Jiao had already given him 3 injections, but the young master still hadn't responded. The old doctor advised Jiyu Jiao to give up, but Jiyu Jiao decided to give one last injection. She thought, if this one doesn't work either, I'm out of options. Come on, little brother. The steward sent Xiao Sai in to check. The second in charge was knocked to the ground. Suddenly, a cough was heard. It was the young master's voice. He finally came back. Jiyu Jiao breathed a sigh of relief. The young master suddenly grabbed Jiyu Jiao's hand and wouldn't let go. Momo looked stunned, in disbelief. The young master never allowed strangers to touch him. Who was this girl? The old doctor quickly explained, she's our little doctor from Huichun Clinic. Momo asked softly, did my young master just wake up? Jiyu Jiao nodded. He woke up for a while, took the medicine, and fell asleep again. Jiyu Jiao finished speaking and was about to leave, but her hand was held tightly. The second in charge was so focused on the rescue that he didn't realize it was a handsome young man. For your handsome face, I'll let you hold it for a while. I'll take the opportunity to admire this handsome face. As she was looking, she suddenly felt sleepy and fell asleep. This shocked Momo. She quickly stepped forward. How dare you sleep next to the young master? She was about to pull Jiyu Jiao up. Unexpectedly, the sleeping young master suddenly opened his eyes. He looked coldly at the steward, as if saying, let go of her. The frightened steward quickly pulled the maid away. The young master gave Jiyu Jiao a quilt. For some reason, he felt a desire to be close to her. Why was Jiyu Jiao so likable? Could it be that Liu Lang had a rival in love? The young master fell asleep again, and the jade pendant accidentally fell onto Jiyu Jiao's back. Seeing Jiyu Jiao come out, the second in charge anxiously asked, Dr. Jiyu, can you cure him? Jiyu Jiao thought for a moment. I left him some medicine. Conservative treatment for now. After a detailed examination, Jiyu Jiao diagnosed that the young master had a congenital heart disease, in the words of her past life. This was very difficult to treat in ancient times. It was getting late. Jiyu Jiao remembered she had something to do and quickly boarded the carriage. Soon, the young maid's voice came, wait, doctor from Huichun Clinic. Early in the morning, head manager Wang at Huichun Clinic was waiting to see Jiyu Jiao's joke. He asked gloatingly, did something happen to them? How's the young master's illness? Unexpectedly, the little maid said happily, what could happen to them? Our young master is awake and even has the strength to get angry. He scolded the servants fiercely. He hasn't been this energetic for a whole year. The former rich kid really didn't understand. Couldn't he just eat something cheap? Was he showing off that his family was rich? After this period of interaction, Jiyu Jiao and Liu Lang's relationship became closer. Jiyu Jiao even secretly performed surgery on Liu Lang. Today they went to Huichun clinic to remove the stitches. The wound had healed, and his foot didn't hurt, indicating that the surgery was successful. But to fully recover, he needed a long period of rehabilitation. The process would be arduous. Returning home from Huichun Clinic, they found a carriage parked at their door. It turned out to be the steward from Qianxiang Academy. He took out a letter from his bag and gave it to Liu Lang. This is from the dean for you. Liu Lang took another sealed letter and gave it to Jiyu Jiao. This is from my master for you, Jiyu Xiaogongzi. The steward took out another small pouch and handed it to Jiyu Jiao. This is a gift from my master for you, Jiyu Nyang. This is for Liu Lang. This is from the dean for you. Liu Lang took another sealed envelope and gave it to Jiyu Jiao. This is from my master for you, Jiyu Xiaogongzi. The steward took out another small pouch and handed it to Jiyu Jiao. This is a gift from my master for you, Miss Jiyu. Jiyu Jiao had a slight doubt about why the gift was given to her. She just smiled. The girl opened it and it turned bad. Jiyu Jiao couldn't wait to open the gift, the Death Note brush for Xiao Shun. This brush is very expensive. When she opened the tight bag, it was a piece of jade. It looks more expensive than a brush. It turns out that the old man already knew it was his and he didn't accept it. Liu Lang looked unhappy. The dean reported the reality to him. Jiyu Jiao was touched by the rebellion. My husband's exams are all about Taoism. The dean didn't give up on him. He's really good at acting. What a great teacher. What he doesn't know is that his husband is a pity. Every time he deliberately fails the exam. Jiyu Jiao intended to return to the team for the dean, but was immediately rejected by Liu Lang on the grounds that it was too far. Lu Jiao smiled and said, it's not far at all. Just stay home and recuperate. She thought, it's only an hour. It's worth it for the future of the project. I can also take the opportunity to make a whole point. Just thinking about it. The next day, Jiyu Jiao carried a full bag and came to Huichun Hall to find the second in charge, saying that she had agreed to do the whole thing, and could also visit the project's clients. The second in charge ridiculed Jiyu Jiao in his heart. Yesterday, he vowed not to go out for consultations. How could he change his mind overnight? Wouldn't your conscience hurt if you said that the meal code was so easy to unlock? Don't you dare to say you're touched. Who told him to have such superb medical skills? She was entrusted by the Qian department to visit Dean Li of Qianxiang Academy. The dean happened to come back from fishing. Hearing that Jiyu Jiao was Liu Lang's wife, he was overjoyed. He thought that all the family members of his future apprentice had come to visit. It seemed that the matter of accepting disciples was a sure thing. Jiyu Jiao took out the mountain goods she had picked and gave them to the dean. The second in charge heard that the dean never accepted them. Unexpectedly, the dean happily accepted the mountain goods and smiled from ear to ear. He thought Liu Lang said no, but his body was very honest. He even let his wife come to the door to give gifts. For apprenticeship. This shocked the second in charge. Look at how he is smiling now, the dignified dean is so happy with those mountain goods. Xiao Shun also took out his gift and gave it to the dean. Isn't this statue Jiyu Jiao? Everyone present was dumbfounded. Isn't this kid looking for trouble? The dean didn't know what to say. Should he refuse or accept? It doesn't seem right to accept a statue of his student's wife. At this moment, old Madame Li appeared. She saw the statue and her eyes lit up. She said, no way, this can't be taken slowly. She carefully placed it on the table and even adjusted it, muttering, Jiyu Jiao, it's foolproof. Now everyone was dumbfounded. Jiyu Jiao returned home, and it was already dark. Opening the door, she saw Liu Lang and his aunt eating dinner. His aunt's face didn't look right. Seeing Jiyu Jiao, she was very enthusiastic. Jiao is back. Jiyu Jiao was stunned. She's usually cold to me. It's strange that she's like this today. Jiyu Jiao looked at the dark dishes on the table. What's wrong? Why aren't you eating? Eat? His aunt looked disgusted. The food Liu Lang made is too terrible. She thought, he's not good looking. His cooking is worse than mine. After listening, Jiu Jiao didn't know what to say. Liu Lang coughed, thinking, give me some face, okay. Jiu Jiao remembered that he used to cook his own meals. Is the cooking so bad? It's understandable that his aunt dislikes it. Why does he dislike it himself? Jiu Jiao quickly fried a few dishes. Thinking of the leftover eggs, she fried a few egg pancakes. Suddenly she noticed the jade pendant across the building. Wiping it, she found it was Jiu Yao's fragrance. Could it be that little stalker? Why did he run to the building across from mine? Could he be spying on my Xiaofei? Jiu Jiao performed surgery on Liu Lang, and the next step was rehabilitation. But Liu Lang never did his rehabilitation properly, putting all his weight on his crutches, with no effect at all. Jiu Jiao decided to accompany him for rehabilitation. She said softly, husband, it's time for rehabilitation. Liu Lang's face immediately turned ugly after hearing this. At this moment, the Jiu Jiao in his eyes looked ferocious. Get up and do rehabilitation. Even if I have to resort to any means, I will make you throw away your crutches and walk properly. Liu Lang was no match for Jiu Jiao, and was dragged out of the room by her. He said reluctantly, where are my crutches? Jiu Jiao said without hesitation, from today onwards. There are no more crutches. Liu Lang looked unhappy. I can't walk without crutches. Jiu Jiao smiled playfully. If you can't walk, it'll be your crutch. Seeing that Liu Lang didn't intend to start, Jiu Jiao said, if you want crutches, go back to the room yourself. Liu Lang shook his head. No, it's too embarrassing to hop back to get crutches. So Liu Lang began his miserable rehabilitation. Jiu Jiao kept nagging, husband, don't put all your weight on me. You need to use your own strength. Yes, that's right. Use a little more strength yourself. I'm going to be crushed by you. How can you rely entirely on a woman for this kind of thing? Liu Lang complained, in just borrowing some strength. He thought, what nonsense are you talking about? Can you shut up? After walking 100 steps, Liu Lang was drenched in sweat. Jiu Jiao took a handkerchief to wipe his sweat. Husband, do you feel sore all over, like you've been run over by a carriage? So tired that you can't move, your fingers can't lift, and your legs are shaking. Liu Lang glanced at her, said nothing, and suddenly thought of something. Have you practiced your calligraphy today? You make me walk so much every day, but you don't practice a single word yourself. Jiu Jiao looked reluctant after hearing this. She thought, I don't want to practice calligraphy, and there are so many strokes. The two of them quarreled endlessly. One said, I won't walk anymore, and the other said, I won't write anymore. Are these two 3-year-olds? It turned out they weren't 3-year-olds. The next day, Liu Lang opened his eyes and saw Jiu Jiao. She was standing there with her hands on her hips, glaring at him with 2 dark circles under her eyes. This startled Liu Lang. What are you doing? He wondered, how long has she been here? Has she been watching me sleep? Jiu Jiao snorted coldly, and took out a stack of written characters. She said imposingly, man, these are the characters you want, 1,000 characters. You will walk 1,000 steps for me today. Liu Lang was dumbfounded. He had offended someone he shouldn't have. After Jiu Jiao's operation, the paralyzed young master Jiu Yang recovered. This finally put the worried heart of Madam, who at ease. Yang, you're awake. Jiu Yang said coldly, I'm not awake, I'm still in a coma. Madam Who said happily, Yang has the strength to talk to mother. You've been in a coma for so long. It's truly a blessing from the Bodhisattva. Jiu Yang turned his head arrogantly. What does it have to do with the Bodhisattva? Madam Who didn't mind. Yes, it's Yang's own life. Jiu Yang said seriously, he cured me. I know it was him. He also left medicine for me. Madam Who nodded repeatedly. That's right, it's the daughter of the doctor from Hui-Chun Hall. Mother will thank them properly. Yeah, how did the jade pendant on your hand disappear? Jiu Yang said calmly, he took it. He took it by accident. It turned out that the jade pendant had accidentally fallen onto Jiu Jiao's back. Jiu Jiao helplessly decided to go to the temple to make an offering and ask the mountain god what to do. Jiu Jiao walked towards the mountain temple. Suddenly, a person flew down. Jiu Jiao reacted quickly and caught the person. The two looked at each other and said in unison. Madam Who smiled and said, girl, you saved me again. Jiu Jiao said lightly, why do you always have problems every time I see you? Jiu Jiao saw the red mark on her forehead. Did you kowtow all the way here? Madam Who nodded. I prayed to the Bodhisattva to bless my son, and it worked. I'm here to fulfill my vow. Jiu Jiao asked about Madam House's condition, and found out that she had low blood sugar. After giving her a piece of malt candy, she went to find the abbot. Madam, who looked at Jiu Jiao's receding figure, feeling a little distressed. She and Yang were the same age, but she had to work outside all day. She didn't know how her parents were doing. Jiu Jiao found the abbot and explained her purpose. The abbot not only agreed to sell, but also said, the mountain can be sold, but it will be more expensive than before. It used to be taels. Jiu Jiao asked anxiously, and now? The abbot replied, taels. Jiu Jiao twitched the corner of her mouth after hearing this. I seriously suspect you're kidding me, but I have no proof. Jiu Jiao told the abbot that the deposit wasn't enough, and she would bring the rest next time. Jiu Jiao was worried. All her money combined wasn't enough to buy the mountain. What should she do? Suddenly, she remembered that she hadn't received the consultation fee for treating the young master. Last time, Jiu Jiao hurried to Huichan Hall. I'm here to collect the consultation fee. Shopkeeper Wang patted his head. Look at my memory. Your consultation fee has been prepared for you long ago. Jiu Jiao saw the white silver and smiled like a fool. Jiu Jiao treated the paralyzed young master Jiu Yang, and received so much in consultation fees alone. She also unexpectedly received a jade pendant. She was thinking about when to return it to its owner. She didn't expect the jade pendant to bring her this. Jiu Yang's older sister, Jiu Jinyu, came to Huichan Hall to give a thank you gift. She said some words of gratitude and then swaggered off. Jiu Jiao asked the shopkeeper for her consultation fee. She smiled from ear to ear when she saw her share. On the other side, Jiu Jinyu discovered that her jade pendant was missing and rushed back to Huichan Hall. Xiaoya said angrily, where is it? My lady's jade pendant is missing. Hurry up and find it. Xiaoya saw a pouch and opened it without permission. I sent this my lady's jade pendant and the young master's jade pendant paper. Why is it here? Suddenly, Jiu Jiao's voice came from behind. It's impolite to touch other people's things. Didn't your mother teach you? Xiaoya started to curse. You stole my master's things and don't dare to admit it. This made the second in charge embarrassed. There must be a misunderstanding. He wouldn't steal anything. Xiaoya pushed further. What do you mean he wouldn't steal? Do you mean him wrongly accusing him? Who is he? Is he worth me going through all this trouble to wrongly accuse him? This little maid is too arrogant. Do you want to beat her up? Suddenly, a glittering young lady walked closer. Jiu Jiao couldn't help but wonder how much gold powder she had used. Xiaoya ran over excitedly. The jade pendant is hung right here. Jiu Jinyu said indifferently, the jade pendant is mine. You can have it if you like, but the jade pendant paper belongs to my brother. I must take it back to him. Jiu Jiao said calmly, you can take back the jade pendant paper, but leave the jade pendant. Jiu Jinyu said unwillingly, you sure know how to pick things. The jade pendant paper is not as valuable as the jade pendant. Jiu Jiao said, I'll return the jade pendant paper to you because it does belong to your brother. The jade pendant doesn't belong to you, so you have to return it to me. Xiaoya started cursing again. If it doesn't belong to my master, does it belong to you? Why don't you take a look at yourself in the mirror? Can you afford such a valuable jade pendant? Bu Jiaolan, reaching for the jade pendant. Xiao Wei was about to hit Jiu Jiao. Jiu Jiao grabbed his hand and backhanded him a slap. How dare you frame me? Bu Jiaolan thought. He tried to rob me. Bu Jiaolan yelled. Someone call the officials. A dignified voice called out. Who wants to call the officials? Is it this young lady? Jiu Jiao recognized the voice as Li Yuanzhong, the head of Qianxiang Academy. She wondered why he was defending this village girl. Jiu Jiao was accused by Bu Jiaolan of stealing her jade pendant. How could this be? She thought, I have to argue with her. I didn't steal it. The jade pendant is mine. Bu Jiaolan retorted. It's not like I wanted to cause trouble. She explained how the jade pendant accidentally fell into her backpack. I didn't realize it until I got home. Ye Huan pressed further, that's not what you said earlier. You admitted you stole it. Their argument made Li Yuanzhang's head spin. Show me the pendant. Li Yuanzhong took the jade pendant and examined it. Young lady, you are mistaken. This jade pendant is not yours. My teacher gave it to me, and then I gave it to my wife. His wife is my disciple, Qing Zhang. Just then, a servant rushed over, found it. After searching for a long time, we found it in the grass. This is the jade pendant you dropped, miss. The truth was finally revealed, but Ya Huan was still relentless. Even if you didn't steal the jade pendant, you stole the jade hairpin. Ji Yujiao told Ya Huan to stop. I'm sorry. I misunderstood you, miss. Ya Huan couldn't believe it. How could my lady, the daughter of a wealthy official, apologize to a lowly village girl? Even if she was wrongly accused, there's no need to apologize. Why apologize? Ji Yujiao turned to Ya Huan. You should also apologize to this young lady. Ya Huan was reluctant. Ji Yujiao turned to the second master. I hope this incident won't affect Hui-chun Clinic's treatment of my brother. The second master looked at Ji Yujiao. That depends on Miss Ji Yu. After a reassuring glance from Ji Yujiao, the second master sighed in relief. Thankfully, she doesn't mind. We will continue the treatment. Don't worry, Miss Hui-chun Clinic prioritizes saving lives. We won't let personal matters affect our patients. Ji Yujiao, after playing the innocent victim, left with Ya Huan, who was fuming. Li Yuanzhong watched her leave, deep in thought. The Ji Yu family of the capital. The second master nodded. Who else but the capital's Ji Yu family could raise such a remarkable young lady? While everyone was distracted, Xiao Liulang tied at his clothes. He snuck out the door, overjoyed. Finally, he could live at the academy and avoid his family. I can relax for a while now. Ji Yujiao's triumphant voice rang out. Xiao Liulang, you're one step too slow. Xiao Liulang thought, I'm doomed. She'll definitely punish me. The thought terrified him. Unexpectedly, Ji Yujiao whispered, here's your travel permit. Before he could react, Ji Yujiao pushed him out the door. She's acting strange today. Why is she being so secretive? Ji Yujiao's voice came. I forgot to tell you. I visited the headmaster earlier. You don't have to live at the academy for these few months, until the Fujian examinations are over. Xiao Liulang felt like he'd been struck by lightning. My happiness is gone. Xiao Shun looked at Xiao Liulang. Brother-in-law, why are you carrying your luggage? Xiao Liulang asked, confused, why didn't you bring anything? Aren't you staying at the academy? Xiao Shun chuckled. If you're not staying, I'm not staying either. I'll stay with you. At least there's someone to share my misery with, he thought. Xiao Liulang was unhappy all the way, but something even more unpleasant awaited him. As soon as he arrived at school, the headmaster called him in for a chat. The preliminary exams are in 10 days. I promised Ji Yujiao I'd tutor you, so you can pass the Shiozai exam. Come see me every day at noon. Xiao Liulang was speechless. I haven't even dealt with you for secretly registering for the exams, and now you're trying to interfere with Wuxiu's matters as well. Headmaster, Wuxiu doesn't need tutoring. My mother told me you're already working hard, studying every day until late. You're not stupid, but for some reason, you just can't seem to grasp it. Maybe your study methods are wrong, or perhaps you're not in the right mindset. I need to find a solution. Xiao Liulang's face darkened. I purposely failed the exams. And now Ji Yujiao is asking you to tutor me. I'll never agree to this. Xiao Liulang turned to leave. I won't participate in the exams. Give up now. The headmaster watched his retreating figure, bewildered. How am I going to explain this to Ji Yujiao? Ji Yujiao was waiting at the academy gate. Why isn't my husband out yet? Was he kept behind by the teacher? After waiting for a long time, Xiao Shun's voice called out, Sister. Ji Yujiao turned around, puzzled. Why did you buy so many things? Xiao Shun looked speechless. Sister, you forgot. Today is the anniversary of father and mother's death. How could the original host have forgotten such an important day? Ji Yujiao exclaimed, I completely forgot. It's a good thing you remembered. Xiao Shun scratched his head. Actually, I didn't remember either. It was my brother-in-law. Ji Yujiao said to Xiao Liulang, thank you. But Xiao Liulang just huffed and climbed onto the ox cart without acknowledging her. You're good at scheming with the headmaster. I'm not talking to you today. I doubt Liulang will give me the cold shoulder. Ji Yujiao wondered, what's wrong with him? I don't think I offended him. I've been behaving well lately. The more Xiao Liulang thought about it, the angrier he became. But Ji Yujiao, the cause of his anger, was oblivious, completely unaware of how furious he was. Xiao Liulang remained silent throughout the journey. Despite his anger, Xiao Liulang still performed the ritual seriously. Ji Yujiao watched him, lost in thought, remembering the original host's parents. Ji Yu Sanwang was swept away by a flood. The original host's mother died of heartbreak a year later, on her husband's death anniversary, leaving the 5-year-old original host alone. They were wonderful parents, taken too soon. It seems that in both this life and the last, I am destined to be without parental love, but at least I can take good care of them for the original host. After the rituals, Xiao Liulang was covered in dirt. Knowing Xiao Liulang's love of cleanliness, Ji Yujiao offered him a hand. Let's go wash up. Xiao Liulang readily accepted, completely forgetting his earlier resolve to ignore Ji Yujiao. It seemed he was easily swayed. Xiao Liulang limped towards the river with his cane. Ji Yujiao watched him, thinking he should be able to walk without the cane now. The surgery was successful. And has been working hard. Maybe has not pushing himself enough. I need to think of another way. Ji Yujiao watched Xiao Liulang thoughtfully. Xiao Liulang turned and asked, "What's wrong?" Ji Yujiao grinned. "Let's wash together." Xiao Liulang suddenly remembered Ji Yujiao had fallen into the river here before. Perhaps she had some lingering fear. He apologized just in case. Ji Yujiao didn't mind and even splashed some water playfully. After washing, she shook her wet hands. Seeing that Ji Yujiao wasn't scared, Xiao Liulang was relieved. As they were about to leave, something fell out of Ji Yujiao's arms. It landed in the river with a splash. Xiao Liulang exclaimed worriedly, "It's just a pouch." "Don't." Before he could finish, Ji Yujiao jumped into the river. Xiao Liulang's face paled. "Ji Yujiao, come back up." Ignoring his own limitations, he hurried into the water to search for Ji Yujiao. Soon, Ji Yujiao's voice was heard. Xiao Liulang quickly pulled Ji Yujiao ashore. "How could you be so reckless? It's just a pouch. How much money is worth your life?" Ji Yujiao opened the soaked pouch. "I hope it's not ruined." Inside was the examination permit. Xiao Liulang was puzzled. "I thought I lost this. Why did she keep it?" Ji Yujiao handed the document to Xiao Liulang. "Hold on to this. I'm all wet, don't let it get ruined." Xiao Liulang grumbled, "You risked your life for this. I won't be taking the exam anyway." Xiao Liulang thought, "I'm not going to take the exam," but seeing Ji Yujiao's earnest expression, he swallowed his words. "I'm not going to pass anyway." "Why bother?" Ji Yujiao said seriously. "How do you know you won't pass if you don't try? Even if you don't pass this time, there's always next time. And if you don't pass next time, there's the time after that. You'll pass eventually." Xiao Liulang asked softly, "Is passing the imperial examinations really that important?" Ji Yujiao said thoughtfully, "Because you're good at studying. I don't think you dislike studying. If you don't like it, you can do something else." Looking into Ji Yujiao's hopeful eyes, Xiao Liulang didn't say anything more. He took off his outer robe and draped it over Ji Yujiao. He murmured, "Are you stupid?" Ji Yujiao didn't hear him clearly. "What did you say?" Xiao Liulang quickly said, "Nothing." He felt a warmth in his heart. He wondered if Xiao Liulang would take the exam. Ji Yujiao fell ill for several days after falling into the river. On the day of the exam, she still had a fever, but insisted on accompanying Xiao Liulang to the examination hall. She kept chattering. "It's okay if you didn't do well in the first session. There are still 4 more. I'll be here with you every day." Xiao Liulang sat beside her, seemingly indifferent. Xiao Liulang reluctantly entered the examination hall. He was only here because someone nearly died for that examination permit. He didn't want to disappoint her, so he pretended to take the exam. "I'm not going to try seriously. I'll just hand in a blank paper." Xiao Liulang reluctantly entered the examination hall. The reason he was sitting here was because someone had almost lost their life for that examination permit. Not wanting to disappoint her, he decided to pretend to take the exam. "I'm not going to take it seriously. I'll just submit a blank paper." Suddenly, a whooshing sound was heard. Liulang thought of Gujiao, thinking since he was already here, he might as well do well in this exam. Liulang said he would only take 1 exam, and he didn't participate in the following 4. Ji Yu Dashun even ridiculed Liulang, saying he probably didn't do well in the first one, and wasn't allowed to participate in the rest. He mocked Liang, saying even if he was thrown into the water, he would only make a small splash. Ji Yu Dashun was gloating, overjoyed. "The dean ignored my excellent voice and put his hopes on that block of wood, Xiao Liulang. It's all for nothing." 10 days later, the exam results came out. Jiyu Das-hun waited to see Xiaoliulang's joke, but unexpectedly, he became the joke himself. The Academy's announcement written in large characters. First place, Xiaoliulang. The dean was overjoyed, like a fool. I knew my hard work wouldn't be in vain. He thought, you were still moved by me and couldn't bear to let me down. Xiaoliulang said expressionlessly, you'll be going now. The dean was still immersed in joy, unable to extricate himself. On the other side, Gu Jiao was also in a great mood, taking his silver to buy a mountain. From now on, these mountains will all be mine. Just thinking about it makes me happy. If I run into Madame Yao, I'll buy some pastries. Gupa has been saying she wants to eat them. Sure enough, he met Madame Yao at the foot of the mountain, and Gu Jiao had pastries to eat again. Madame Yao even promised to pack some for Gu Jiao to take back. Madame Yao sighed, so many years have passed. Back then, it was the abbot here who delivered my daughter. Gu Jiao ate the pastries, thinking, me too. After eating his fill, Gu Jiao bid farewell to Madame Yao, and happily went to find the abbot. Gu Jiao saw a little dumpling sitting on the steps, looking unhappy. Wasn't she taken away by the family that wanted to adopt her? The family who wanted to adopt her didn't come, because their madam is pregnant. They just found out last night. Gu Jiao wanted to comfort the little dumpling. Can I sit here for a while? The little dumpling didn't speak, but moved to the side. Gu Jiao asked softly, are you sad? Xiao Jinkong looked puzzled. What? She suddenly understood what Gu Jiao meant. She said proudly, I'm not sad at all. It's a blessing for the masters down the mountain to have their own children. I don't want to go at all. Gu Jiao said again, so you don't want to go down the mountain? Xiao Jinkong turned her face away angrily. Of course not. What's so good about going down the mountain? I heard they force you to eat meat. I don't want to break my precepts. Gu Jiao decided to tease her. You really don't want to go down the mountain? Xiao Jinkong said seriously, of course not. I won't go down the mountain in my life. I'll be a nun forever, and I'll be an amazing abbot in the future. Gu Jiao pretended to be impressed. Since you're so determined, then forget it. I was planning to talk to the abbot, and let you come live with me down the mountain for a few days. Xiao Jinkong put her hands on her hips. I said I won't go down the mountain, especially not with you. Ask me again if you don't believe me. Gu Jiao cooperated and asked. Do you want to go down the mountain with me? Xiao Jinkong quickly grabbed her bag and said firmly, yes. Gu Jiao was speechless. I was just tricked by a little dumpling. You just said you wouldn't go down the mountain with me. Monks don't lie, Xiao Jinkong said shamelessly. That was the previous Xiao Jinkong. It has nothing to do with the current Xiao Jinkong. The current Xiao Jinkong agrees to go down the mountain with you. Gu Jiao was helpless. Who told you to be so cute? You're the boss. Xiao Jinkong ran into the abbot's room. Abbot. Someone wants to adopt me. The abbot asked happily, who is it? Xiao Jinkong pointed at Gu Jiao. Gu Jiao thought, that's not what I meant. I just said I'd take her home for a few days. How did it become adoption? Before he could explain, the abbot said joyfully, so it's lay disciple Jiyu. Amitabha. Don't worry, lay disciple Jiyu, this old monk won't make things difficult for you. Gu Jiao breathed a sigh of relief. Good, good. The abbot continued, Jinkong is actually my junior brother's daughter. Generally speaking, we should get his permission first, but I know lay disciple Gus' character well. I'll make the decision for my junior brother. Gu Jiao was stunned. Wait, what did you do? How can you make the decision? The abbot said to Xiao Jinkong, Jinkong, you must be obedient and listen to lay disciple Jiyu down the mountain, okay? Xiao Jinkong nodded. Okay, abbot. Gu Jiao was helpless. Aren't you all too casual? Don't you think you should ask other people? Like, her senior brothers. Suddenly, with a bang, the door was kicked open. Jinkong, your favorite eldest senior brother gave this to you. Remember eldest senior brother, after you go down the mountain. Then a spinning top was stuffed into Xiao Jinkong's arms. Jinkong, your beloved spinning top. Second senior brother gave it to you. Don't forget second senior brother. Then other senior brothers also sent gifts, incredibly fast, as if they were afraid Gu Jiao would change his mind. Before Gu Jiao could react, everyone was gone. Leaving only Xiao Jinkong, still touched. My senior brothers are so good to me. Gu Jiao was helpless. Little nun, how much trouble have you caused? Look how eager your senior brothers are for you to leave. They really want you gone. Gu Jiao came to buy a mountain, but ended up going down the mountain with a little oil bottle. The abbot followed him like a child. Buy one, get one free. Gu Jiao thought. Thanks, but I don't feel like I've gotten a good deal. Xiao Liulang got first place and was kept at the academy for a day. According to Bu, someone had already gone back to the village to spread the news. Everyone knew about him getting first place. Sure enough, his house was full of matchmakers. Xiao Liulang sighed, prepared to be surrounded and talked to by the matchmakers. But something unexpected happened. The matchmakers were surrounding someone else. He couldn't even squeeze in. He patted the person in front of him. Aunt Zhao, let me in. Aunt Zhao said coldly, who is it? What do you want? Don't bother me. Liu Lang quickly said, it's me, Liu Lang. Aunt Zhao said casually, oh, Liu Lang is back. Then she continued to look inside. Xiao Liulang was puzzled. Aren't you all here for me? What's with this indifferent attitude? It took Xiao Liulang 10 minutes to squeeze into his own house. The scene before him stunned him. Where did this little monk come from? He sat obediently on the small stool next to Gupa, looking adorable. The matchmakers also praised him. I've never seen such a young monk. So cute and well-behaved. So rare. So adorable. Xiao Liulang felt awkward. This little guy stole my spotlight, and now he's trying to steal my wife. He looked at Gupa and Gu Jiao. Tell me, what's going on? Gupa looked innocent. Don't look at me. I didn't bring him back. Gu Jiao looked guilty. Do you believe me if I say I got him as a free gift with the mountain? Xiao Liulang was speechless. Gu Jiao took Xiao Jinkong to wash his hands. He explained the whole story to Liu Lang. He was so pitiful, so I brought him back. Xiao Liulang looked at Gu Jiao. Are you sure you weren't tricked? Gu Jiao said firmly, absolutely not. He's only a few years old. How could he trick me? I'm not that stupid. If you don't like him, Xiao Liulang interrupted him. No, it's fine if you like him. He thought, Gu Jiao and I aren't really husband and wife. It's her freedom to raise however many children she wants. I have no right to interfere. Gu Jiao went to the kitchen to get the rice. Then Xiao Jinkong came to Liu Lang. Are you my dad? Xiao Liulang's expression changed drastically. Did he acknowledge you as his son? Xiao Jinkong shook his head. Not really. Jiao Jiao said it's up to me, so I came to ask you. Are you going to be my dad, or what? Xiao Liulang said indifferently, I'm not that bold. Xiao Jinkong even added 3 years to her age. I'm not young. I'm 6 years old. Xiao Liulang looked disbelieving. Really? You look 3 to me. Xiao Jinkong felt a little guilty. Then will you be my brother? Xiao Liulang answered casually, sure. But Xiao Jinkong's next words almost choked him. Xiao Liulang refused to be Xiao Jinkong's dad, so Xiao Jinkong decided on her own. Then be my brother. That works too. Nothing's more fun than Xiao Liulang was almost choked to death. This little monk is too improper. Shut up. Don't ever say that again. Xiao Jinkong looked confused. Why? Xiao Liulang thought for a moment. Jiao Jiao won't like it. He glanced in Gu Jiao's direction. He shouldn't be able to hear me from this far, right? It's a little embarrassing to call him Jiao Jiao for the first time. At this moment, Gu Jiao came out with the rice. Xiao Liulang pointed at Gu Jiao. Here's your Jiao Jiao, your dear Jiao Jiao. You can't just call anyone that. Xiao Jinkong sighed. Fine. Although I'm not his only little brother, you're not his only man either. Xiao Jinkong patted herself. I'm also Jiao Jiao's little man. Xiao Liulang was at a loss for words. Little monk, you're so arrogant on your first day here. Xiao Jinkong looked at the table full of vegetarian dishes and asked disappointedly, no meat. Xiao Liulang looked at her. Aren't you a monk? Can monks eat meat? Xiao Jinkong said seriously, but I'm not a monk after I come down the mountain. Xiao Liulang stared at her shaved head. Xiao Jinkong touched her own head. My hair will grow back. Xiao Liulang said seriously, we can't afford meat. Xiao Jinkong looked around. So shabby. It seems we're really poor. She said understandingly, okay. Gu Jiao couldn't help but laugh. Your brother-in-law is teasing you. I'll buy you lots of meat tomorrow. Xiao Jinkong was overjoyed. Jiao Jiao is the best. Xiao Jinkong urged Xiao Liulang, hurry up and eat. After dinner, Xiao Jinkong insisted on washing his own bowl. Gu Jiao planned to give Jinkong a bath. Xiao Jinkong sat obediently on the small stool, waiting for Gu Jiao. He thought happily, Jiao Jiao is going to give me a bath later. I'm so happy. To his surprise, it wasn't Jiao Jiao who came, but the stinky Liu Lang. Xiao Jinkong was disappointed and curious. Xiao Liu Lang was also helpless. What's this little monk sighing about? Do you think I'm happy to bathe you? After the bath, Xiao Jinkong was ready to rest. Go sleep with Gupa. Her room is the softest. Xiao Jinkong went to Gupo's room with his pillow. If you agree to divide the hidden pastries with me, I'll sleep with you. Without a word, Gupa slammed the door shut. Xiao Jinkong returned to Gu Jiao's room with his pillow and said sadly, Gupa won't sleep with me. Gu Jiao, thinking of Gupo's strange temper, didn't suspect anything. Then sleep with me. Cheer Xiao Jinkong up. Okay. After saying that, she climbed onto the bed. Halfway up, Liu Wang picked her up. You tell me. Xiao Jinkong's eyes widened. I don't want to. I don't want to sleep with the bad Jinfei. I don't want to sleep with you. Xiao Liu Lang said seriously, no, you do. These two combined have New Year's, right? Xiao Jinkong wanted to sleep with Jiu Jiao. Unexpectedly, she was still carried back by Xiao Liu Lang. Xiao Jinkong lay sprawled on the bed, looking very comfortable. Liu Wang warned fiercely, sleep well. If you do this again, I'll throw you out. And lock the door. Not letting you sleep. You'd better behave. Maybe I'll consider letting you stay. Xiao Jinkong was unwilling to show weakness, and said stubbornly, I should be the one saying that to you. Jiao Jiao said I'm a member of this family. You and Jiao Jiao are married, you should sleep in one room. That room is yours, this room is mine. Jiao Jiao doesn't sleep with you. Now I'm taking you in. Xiao Liu Lang was speechless. How does it feel like this little brat has a point? After 3 rounds of arguing, Xiao Jinkong finally fell asleep tiredly. Jiu Jiao walked in with an oil lamp. She handed something to Liu Wang. This is for you. Liu Wang looked puzzled. What is it? Jiu Jiao smiled slightly. Congratulations on getting first place in the exam. You've improved so much. This is your reward. Xiao Liu Lang turned his face away. I'm not a child. Why do I need a reward? Although he said he didn't need it, he was happy in his heart and took the sachet. Jiu Jiao said softly, there are dried cotton flowers inside. Carry the sachet with you, and you can sleep well. Xiao Liu Lang looked shocked. He thought, how does she know I don't sleep well? Jiu Jiao guessed what he was going to ask. Have you forgotten? We've slept together. Liu Wang tried to stay calm. Okay. What kind of tiger wolf words is Jiu Jiao saying? Look, Shaoxing Xiangong is too embarrassed. Jiu Jiao suddenly remembered something and leaned close to Liu Wang's ear, asking softly, did you just call me Jiao Jiao? Now Liu Wang's face turned red with shyness. He didn't dare to look at Jiu Jiao. Jiu Jiao went out with satisfaction. I don't care, I heard it. After teasing Shaoxing Xiangong, Jiu Jiao left happily, leaving Liu Wang blushing alone. Perhaps because of the sachet, Xiao Liu Lang slept very soundly all night. When he woke up in the morning, he felt refreshed. He decided to show off in front of Xiao Jinkong, and put the sachet in a conspicuous place. He wondered if Xiao Jinkong would notice it and what her reaction would be. Liu Wang was very happy after receiving the sachet from Jiu Jiao, and decided to show off to Xiao Jinkong by putting the sachet somewhere obvious. As expected, Xiao Jinkong saw it as soon as she woke up. What's this? Xiao Liu Lang told her it was a sachet. Xiao Jinkong touched the sachet. Who made it? It's so beautiful. Xiao Liu Lang said Jiao Jiao made it. Xiao Jinkong picked up the sachet excitedly. Is it for me? Xiao Liu Lang said proudly, you wish. It's for me. Xiao Jinkong shouted angrily after hearing that, Jiao Jiao. This startled Jiu Jiao. Xiao Jinkong cried and ran into Jiu Jiao's arms. Jiu Jiao patiently explained to Xiao Jinkong, that's a reward for getting first place in the exam. When you grow up and get first place, I'll make one for you too. Xiao Liu Lang walked in with a blank expression, thinking, this little brat is so troublesome. But since I made her cry, I should still come in and check on her. Don't be angry. Unexpectedly, Xiao Jinkong looked at him with sympathy. So your grades are so bad that you need a reward for getting first place once. This made Xiao Liu Lang so angry that he wanted to throw this. Little brat out. I shouldn't have come in. Now I'm angry. Unexpectedly, Xiao Jinkong added, I used to always get first place. I'm used to it. I don't need a reward. Xiao Liulang was speechless. This little brat is really not afraid of being beaten. Ji Yujiao saw that the situation was not good and quickly ran away. I have something to do. I'll go out for a bit. The food is in the pot, eat when you're hungry. Ji Yujiao went shopping, thinking about what to buy today. It was another big expense. She sighed deeply. After buying these things, there won't be much money left at home. I have to find a way to earn more money. Suddenly, she saw a lively scene ahead. She walked over and saw another opportunity to make money. She rushed to sign up. The young man looked disdainful. Little girl, what are you messing around with? Do you want money or your life? We won't be responsible if you get hurt on the lei tai. Ji Yujiao quickly took out a waiver form. I know. Let's begin. On the lei tai, the crowd cheered. This little girl is quite courageous. Lei Zhu was a burly man, and didn't take Ji Yujiao seriously at all. The surrounding audience also looked disdainful. A little girl, who has never seen the world, dares to come to the lei tai to fight Lei Zhu. Another one who doesn't know how to live or die. What they didn't expect was that Ji Yujiao, in one move, threw the burly man off the lei tai. The crowd was shocked. Ji Yujiao walked out of the arena with the money, humming happily. This money is too easy to earn. I can go shopping again today. He is Ji Yang, the young master of the Hu mansion. He has been frail and sickly since childhood, and Hui has taken great care of him. Whenever he goes out, a bunch of guards follow him, for fear that others won't know how fragile and delicate the young master is, as if a push could knock him over. In order to go out, Ji Yang went to great lengths. He had someone pretend to be an assassin to stage a show. Unexpectedly, he encountered Ji Yujiao. After a burst of output, the assassin surrendered obediently in a few seconds. Ji Yang looked at the person in the carriage in surprise. Isn't this the sickly young lady I saved last time? Ji Yujiao didn't know that this was her younger brother. Ji Yang asked Ji Yujiao not to misunderstand. I came here specifically to look for you. Ji Yujiao thought he was unwell, and quickly got into the carriage to check his pulse. His pulse was much more stable than last time. She opened her small medicine box and rummaged through it. Ji Yang wondered what she was looking for. When she took out the stethoscope, Ji Yang looked curious. What is this? Ji Yujiao said seriously, stethoscope. Take off your clothes. Ji Yang was startled at first, but he obediently took off his shirt. Ji Yujiao's expression became serious. There is still an irregular heartbeat and murmurs. The heart failure medication is effective for him. Ji Yujiao felt distressed. Does it hurt a lot? Ji Yang smiled. It doesn't hurt. It's really much better than before. Although he said so, there was unspeakable bitterness in his heart. He had spent so many years in the torment of heart failure, and had never experienced the comfort of a normal person. Even a little less discomfort was a relief for him. Then the two chatted. After all, it was only their second meeting, so it was a bit unfamiliar and awkward. Then Ji Yujiao's stomach growled. Ji Yang ordered a table of dishes, all of which Ji Yujiao liked. Actually, he liked them too, but he couldn't eat them. Watching Ji Yujiao eat happily, Ji Yang looked satisfied, as if he had eaten them himself. After Ji Yujiao had eaten and drunk her fill, she took the opportunity, while Ji Yang went to pay the bill, to open her small medicine box. Sure enough, there was medicine. Ji Yujiao handed the medicine to Ji Yang. You must have finished your medicine, right? Take these and continue taking them. Time passed quickly. Ji Yang reluctantly said goodbye to Ji Yujiao. Looking at Ji Yang's departing figure, Ji Yujiao felt sad. Such a handsome young man, with impeccable manners and so gentle and polite. Such a perfect little darling. Why does God have to torture him? The little darling in Ji Yujiao's eyes changed completely as soon as he got into the carriage back to the mansion, his eyes turning cold. After hearing that Bo Yi was coming soon, his expression became even colder. The guard very wisely offered Huye's treasured tea. Ji Yang grabbed it and drank it in one gulp. This little darling actually has two faces. Did you know? Xiao Jinkong was clamoring to eat meat. Ji Yujiao packed candied pork knuckle and braised lion's head. Suddenly, a carriage came barreling down the street. The guard was whipping his horse, ignoring the pedestrians. An old lady, in order to avoid the whip, bumped into Ji Yujiao, and their things scattered everywhere. The old lady slipped and almost fell. Jiyu Jiao quickly reached out and helped her. However, the guard didn't realize his mistake at all and whipped his horse even more recklessly. Jiyu Jiao grabbed his whip and pulled him off the carriage. The guard fell with a thud. Jiyu Jinyu in the carriage bumped her head. She looked pitiful and aggrieved. Hui Yangchu angrily got out of the carriage. The guard was clearing the way ahead. Who knew he would snatch the guard's whip, pull the guard off the horse, and even whip him? Jiyu Jiao looked at him and finished his words. One more word and Jiyu Hai's cold gaze fell on Jiyu Jiao's face. Jiyu Jiao's gaze was equally cold, staring at Jiyu Huye without any fear. Is this a staring contest? Who's afraid of who? Jiyu Huye said coldly, you have guts. Jiyu Jiao stepped forward and reached out to ask for compensation. Candid elbows, when? Candid pork knuckle, when? Braised lion's head, when? Emotional distress fee, when? A total of when? Hui felt insulted. He glanced at the mess on the ground, then looked at the guard again. The guard lowered his head guiltily. Hui understood what had happened, but he still said shamelessly, my man was wrong, but little girl, aren't you too arrogant? Aren't you afraid that this who will kill you? Jiyu Jiao thought seriously for a moment. Does seem like a small amount. How about when? Now Hui was dumbfounded. What's this all about? Jiyu Jinyu recognized Jiyu Jiao. She didn't know what she said to Hui, but Hui said coldly, my daughter pleaded for you, so I'll spare you. After saying that, he threw a silver ingot on the ground. He got into the carriage and was about to leave, but Jiyu Jiao picked up the silver ingot on the ground, and said, I said when, so I only want this much. If you give me too much. Jiyu Jiao broke off a small piece. She casually threw the rest back at his carriage. With a thud, the silver ingot, with pinpoint accuracy, hit Huye's forehead. A large bump immediately appeared on Huye's forehead. Huye was furious. Damn girl. I must punish you today. At this moment, a guard came to report, Master Hu, something happened to the young master. Huye immediately forgot about Jiyu Jiao, and rushed to where Jiyu Yang was. Jiyu Jinyu looked worried and grabbed Jiyu Yang's hand. Di, are you okay? Jiyu Yang flung her hand away in disgust. I'm not dead. Jiyu Yang stared at the large bump on Hui Yanta's head. Jiyu Jinyu said it was Jiyu Jiao who hit him. After hearing this, Jiyu Yang burst into laughter, tears almost falling from his eyes. Jiyu Huye was so angry that he wanted to hit someone. He was angered half to death by a brat outside. And now he was angered half to death by his own son. He couldn't understand why. Are they all trying to kill him? Xiao Jinkong was chattering every day, wanting to eat meat. Jiyu Jiao specially packed candied pork knuckle and braised lion's head for him. Xiao Jinkong had been waiting at the door for a long time. Seeing Jiyu Jiao return, he ran towards her excitedly. Seeing the little dumpling running towards her, Jiyu Jiao's heart melted. So cute. She really wanted to remind him to be careful not to fall. As a result, he really fell with a thud. Why is he so clumsy? The first time I saw him, he also fell, perhaps used to falling. Xiao Jinkong skillfully hugged his little bald head, and rolled like a small winter melon. He originally rolled to Jiyu Jiao and Xiaoshun's feet. Jiyu Jiao hurriedly helped him up. Did you hurt yourself? Xiao Jinkong shook his head proudly. No, it doesn't hurt. I'm very good at falling. Jiyu Jiao was speechless. This little dumpling is really something. How is this considered good? Falling on others is called good, falling on yourself is called. Jiyu Jiao held Xiao Jinkong's hand. Xiao Jinkong skipped happily. It was dinner time. Xiao Jinkong looked at the braised lion's head and candied pork knuckle, his mouth watering. Wow, meat. I can finally eat fresh and tender meat. Jiyu Jiao picked a leaner piece for Xiao Jinkong. Xiao Jinkong thanked Jiyu Jiao politely and then stuffed the meat into his mouth. But before the meat reached his mouth, Xiao Jinkong swayed and then fell to the ground with a thud. Everyone was stunned. What happened? Jiyu Jiao looked at Xiao Jinkong lying sprawled on the ground, his head tilted, unconscious. Could this little brat be allergic to meat? He's the one who wants to eat meat every day, and he's also the one who's allergic to it. Unbelievable. I've never seen anyone allergic to meat before. It's really eye-opening. Jiyu Huye had been quite annoyed recently. He had a bump on his head from being hit by a brat, and his head still hurt. Now, seeing Jiyu Jinyu and Jiyu Yang quarreling again, he felt a headache coming on. He favored Jinyu. Logically, their relationship should be very good, but Yang disliked Jinyu from birth. Whenever Jinyu got close to him, he would push her away. As he grew older, Yang still didn't like her. The two were like fire and water, quarreling countless times. Could it be that Yang knew from the beginning that Jinyu wasn't his biological sister? Ji Huye sighed deeply. All these years, whenever Jinyu suffered any grievance in the mansion, I would compensate her privately. I thought it was all Yang's fault. But now it seems that I was the one who made the big mistake. Ji Huye couldn't sit still any longer. He rushed to the Saimiao where the children were born, hoping to find out about his biological daughter. As a result, he accidentally fell into a 5-meter deep pit. He cried for help, but no one answered. After 2 hours, Jiu Jiao appeared. She suddenly heard a sound. She walked closer and realized, Isn't this the trap I dug when I was young? I didn't catch any prey, but I caught a big living person. Let me see which unlucky person this is. Why did he come to the mountains? Jiu Jiao looked down. Their eyes met, and they both said in unison, It's you. Jiu Jiao was a little surprised. Isn't this the arrogant brat who drove his carriage recklessly on the street, knocking over my things and almost hurting that old lady? Jiu Hai's face darkened. Isn't this the brat who charged at my carriage on the street and threw silver at my head? Jiu Jiao smirked. I'll teach you a lesson. After saying that, she turned around and left. Jiu Huye panicked. Finally, a living person came, and you're leaving just like that. Stop. Jiu Jiao wouldn't listen to him. She really didn't want to save this person. Jiu Huye was furious, cursing inwardly, You little girl. You're just a little girl. This who will let it go, considering you saved Yanga, but now you're just leaving me to die. Fine, I'll get out myself. And then I'll punish you for your disrespect. At this moment, a series of wolf howls came. Jiu Huye was terrified. Damn it. It sounds like there are more wolves. If I don't hurry, it will attract even more. Suddenly, a voice came. You can't get out. Look up. Jiu Jiao was leisurely drinking water. So you can't get out. Are you waiting to see this who make a fool of himself? Jiu Jiao said disdainfully, You're neither funny nor good looking. Jiu Huye was furious, speechless. When it comes to insulting people, he has never lost to Jiu Jiao.